Hello everyone, and welcome to the annual 2025 energy update. I'm psychic medium Christine Gold, and every year around this time, you can go back and look at previous years. I tune into the energy of what's going on in the global consciousness, tapping into, of course, channeling, intuition, information from my guides, angels, loved ones, and then your collective consciousness as well. So 2025 is the year I believe, and well, it's been confirmed with some of the channels and messages I've been getting and what's been coming in for me lately, is the year of sound. Sound. Now, I was gifted a beautiful end of year sound bath with a bunch of other beautiful souls in Azu Ridge in Pritis, Alberta, at a beautiful space. I mean, you have to go there. They have walking trails and a whole bunch of things, but we were given this beautiful sound bath meditation worksheet, which had a lot of information about what you want to release from 2024 and what you want to bring into 2025. And of course, we worked with amethyst and clear quartz, which those are things that I'm already bringing, that I already utilize. So if you're here live, please say hello. Let me know if you have any questions. And I'm going to take a seat. I thought I would start standing. Why not? You definitely get more energy when you're standing. Absolutely. So let me know how 2024 was for you. What stood out for you? Um, and what you feel 2025 is going to bring for you. And of course, we all have dreams, we all have goals. But really, my word, like, what's your word for 2025? I always choose a word before our annual Dream Vision Map workshop, which is happening January 12th, I believe. You can go there. The links are below for all my events in person and online. And the reason I do the vision boarding is because it is something that I've seen in the last 4 years with myself and my clients. Everything that we put on the board pretty much manifested. And then we actually go and look at it every 3 months to see if we need to make any adjustments, because I feel that's really important too, because sometimes we get too hyper focused. It needs to happen this year and it needs to happen this way. Well, no, actually, that's your ego. Your ego wants to control, and if it doesn't come a certain way, then that means you failed. But here's something they didn't teach you in school, which I follow Robert Kyoto, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He says school didn't teach you how to fail. School taught you that if you got things wrong, there's something wrong with you and you're dumb and you get all these labels and shaming. No, no. Failing means you actually did. You went for it. So please fail forward. Hi, Sheila, all the way from Amsterdam. Wonderful. So lovely to see you. Thank you for being here. We welcome everyone, all denominations. This is a inclusive community. I have a soul healers community as well. So if you'd like to sign up for that membership, there'll be more exclusive content coming for you. In fact, I just dropped Empath and Narcissist, Heal the Trauma Bond Forever. That's in there as well. So my word for 2025, what's yours? For 2024, it was intention, which, a lot of us are not really sure what that is, meaning you intend to do something. A lot of us will say we'll do something, and then we talk ourselves out of it. So intention means you go forward. It's baby steps, right? My word is fun. How can I have more fun every day? Now, some days might not be so much fun. However, it's, as they say, look on the bright side of life, where the human mind has been conditioned to look at the dark side, to look at the negative side, to be a pessimist, to see the glass half empty. You know what I'm saying? And I don't subscribe to that. I've had my moments. And I will say the last few weeks, I have done a lot of shedding emotionally, a lot of emotions, crying for no reason. And I know I'm not the only one out there. And I've really just went inward because I know when you're on the cusp and there's a lot of stuff happening internally, you're being set up for the next level in your consciousness, in your soul's purpose journey. I truly believe that. Maybe you do as well. I'd love to hear from you. And the energy for 2025, I believe, is peace. Peace. And yes, we all pray for peace in the world, global peace. However, I believe peace starts within ourselves first. I get it. When I first started out in 2017, I want to heal the world. And that is a very egoic ideation, personally. It had to start with me. It starts with me. Always has been. So, yes, and I hope you're doing well. Best wishes for you in 2025. Thank you so much, Sheila. So let's get into, I mean, the overarching is the year of sound. And what do I mean by sound? And I really want to connect it to the throat chakra as well. So all kinds of sounds. And you know I love bowls. I love healing frequencies. I love music. I love singing. I'm joining a choir this year because, that's something I love to do in school and I forgot about it. I go to karaoke, but I mean really digging in and reclaiming my voice. And I believe everyone is a good singer. So don't let anybody tell you otherwise, right? Because if you say I'm not a good singer, what are you speaking into your existence? You're speaking that into your existence. If you're saying, I haven't really given it a go and I'm going to give it a go. How about that? Or drawing. I used to say, oh, I'm not a good drawer. Says who? Did you actually put time and effort into it? I also feel 2025 is a year of skills. You got skills, or you want to develop a skill, or you want to learn something, a trade, construction, sewing, going off grid. You know what I'm saying? Go for it. Go for it. So, and this as well, bells are very, they welcome in the angels, but they also ward off any type of negativity, any negative energy, anything. So bring in more bells, bring in more strings. Instruments are so healing. I mean, there's so many musicians in the world that were tuned in and knew a lot. I mean, they're channels and we're all channels. All right, so let's get into some of the themes, breakdowns and breakthroughs. And, a lot of us feel that we have to hit rock bottom before we have a breakthrough, and that's not necessarily everyone's experience. But I really do believe this year a lot of us are going to say, okay, kind of like that Dido song, White Flag. I surrender. That's really what I'm hearing. I'm surrendering. I can't avoid what I've been avoiding. I can no longer be addicted to whatever I'm addicted to. I can no longer always be looking for red flags in people and really turning it inside, grabbing a mirror and looking and saying, self reflection. So, and that's how you're going to have the breakthrough. That's how you're going to have the breakthrough. So, I have more sober events coming, like Sober Okie. Anybody interested in that? Because I remember I used to need a shot of whiskey before I get on the microphone, but not anymore. I believe Spirit's been training me for my podcast. I'm going into my 6th year. So I've been speaking to people online, to people in person, to people like you, and really developing, and more of as well going to bring in light language. And what is light language? Well, Those are from the star systems, from the universe. We're talking about Palladians and Arcturians and other beings of light, known and unknown, and they all speak a language. And I talk about the language of spirit. It's not just mediumship, it's so many other things. So that's where the breakthrough is going to happen. But you really have to break it down because really, we never had a solid foundation. And maybe we've had for a long time. Um, yeah, I'm seeing like there's needs to be more reconstruction happening, more development. Because we are on a lifelong learning journey. We really are. It's great to learn and read and absorb like a sponge. You also need to put it into practice. Buddha, chop wood, carry water. So let me know what you're breaking through. Maybe you've had a breakdown. Know that this is a safe space to do so. Um, I know I've been almost 3 years sober, and it's not easy. Um, Actually, it is easy when I think, oh, just a sip. Well, I know how my body reacts. My body says it's poison. It's been proven. And I also want to bring in Sir Anthony Hopkins. I mean, this man is 89 years old. I saw him the other day on YouTube talking about his sober journey, 49 years. So he said it's never too late. And what a beautiful message for people that need to hear that need to hear that, to need to see that it is possible and that you are possible and nothing is impossible. It's been a series of steps. I mean, I became a medium, then I became a Reiki master, then I became, I stepped into animal communication. I learned more about past lives and the Akashic records. I've been practicing yoga for a very long time. I became vegan, whole food, plant-based November 29th, 2021. So and I quit smoking, I think it was around 2019. So it's just been a series of don't need it, don't need it, don't need it. These are all crutches that I don't need. And like Dr. Gabor Mate says, we are all addicted. We're all addicted to something. We're all addicted. All right, so let's get into New Earth, also known as the Age of Aquarius. Yes, the Golden Age, as they call it. Pluto has finally moved out of Capricorn, which, FYI, was my sign. So the last 20 years, it's it's been a lot. It has been a lot. Um, a lot of shedding, really, of people, places, and things, and belief systems. And I believe many of us are going through that as well. In Aquarius, we're moving from, that Earth and Piscean, that old doctrine, old, polarization, dark ages energy into light. And this started in 2017. And you go through one from year 1 to 9, and this is a 9 year, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But this is the cycle we're on. This is the cycle we're on. So, how are you embodying this new Earth energy? I know Eckhart Tolle talks about it a lot. He's been instrumental, and he's a fellow Canadian. He lives in Vancouver. So, but this man has transcended hearts and minds and spaces and places to be, to touch people around the world, which is amazing. So, New Earth is shifts in consciousness. It's shifts in levels and ascensions, and yeah, and becoming aware that there's more in this world than just us. And we're seeing that more and more. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about, I mean, they talk about the drones, but come on, like UFOs. I actually have a card in my deck that is an IFO, which is an identified flying object. Right here, IFO. This is, because I believe and I have seen UFOs myself. I have seen them. And you know what? They don't happen to me at night. It always happens to me during the day. I see them in the cloud system. So to say that we're the only people here and that human is above all, not true. Not at all. Not at all. Again, that's another ego moment. This moment brought to you by ego. And I'm not saying ego is the enemy. I'm saying that it wants to control, it has a narrative, it's trying to keep you protected all the time. Yes, it serves a purpose. It serves a root chakra purpose. However, that is not there's more than one chakra in your body, right? So let's just remember that. Let's just remember that. All right. So we did the breakdowns and breakthroughs. You can go back and rewatch this if you missed. I'll leave all the timestamps for you. New Earth, we talked about the age of Aquarius. And, I also feel it's almost like a 60s revival. Remember, if you were born or you grew up in the 60s, you knew what all that was about. And there was a lot of turmoil, and I believe it's going to be done a little differently, of course. However, you can see a lot of similarities in what happened in the 60s. Um, but there seems to be a lot more division, right? And triggering and trying to trigger people. Make yourself untriggerable. How about that? That would be something to really work on. So we're moving on to number 3, shifts and balances. I mean, right there, shifts and balances. How can you come into more balance in your life? What does balance mean to you? I see it as in the tarot deck, the Justice card. It also, to me, signifies that Libra energy. You've got the scales, right? So sometimes your life will feel you'll feel out of whack, or even the Two of Pentacles. And sometimes you will feel balanced. It's recognizing those times where you are out of balance and having the tools to bring you back into balance. And what do I mean? Do you have a spiritual toolkit? I'd love to know. Let me know in the chat. Do you practice meditation? Do you practice mindfulness? Do you eat whole foods? Do you eat whole foods? Now, I'm not telling you to become a vegan or a vegetarian or a pescatarian. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is gravitate towards, and there will be seasons in your life where you want to eat less. Maybe you want to practice some fasting, which I am practicing in the new year. I'm going to go for the 24-hour. And apparently, uh, Dr. Mindy Pels, I follow her as well. She wrote a book, Fasting Like a Girl, which is pretty amazing for, especially us ladies who are having hormonal issues. Autophagy is reached after 72 hours. Now, I'm not saying you can go without food for 72 hours. I'm going to say maybe practice intermittent fasting, which I already do. So I wait sometimes 18, 20 hours before I eat. And, I used to be a person that as soon as I got up, I had to eat. And now I'm like, no, I'm good. So, and realizing certain foods, and I will even include vegetables or fruit that don't sit well with you, that you can't digest, which is fine. You don't have to eat those. So it's really about resetting your gut, because your gut is here, connected to here. So if you're feeling all sorts of things in your gut, you're going to feel all sorts of things in your mind, right? So, and I'm not a doctor by any means. This is something I've been working on for the last couple of years that worked for me. All right. So take what you want and leave the rest. So, how can you find your shifts, and where are your shifts happening? Are they with seasons? Are you noticing people leaving your life? Are you feeling quite lonely? They say that if you're here for a reason and a purpose, and you are, if you're listening to this, it is a lonely journey. However, it really makes you appreciate when you do interact with people, with strangers, and start becoming a magnet for the types of relationships you want to have in your life, relationships that feed off of each other in a healthy way, not draining, not toxic. So we'll get to number 4, new ways forward. New ways forward. So every step in your journey is a new way forward. Do you know, do you feel, do you have an idea of where you want to plant yourself? Oh, okay. In 2025. I'm feeling a lot of roots, a lot of rooted energy. There's been a lot of nomadic. There still is a lot of nomadic stuff going on. However, I'm finding more and more of us are wanting to plant some roots, more of like, finding a retreat, a place for yourself, whether it's just for you or it's for a bunch of people. It's about bringing in that community as well. So community, connection, collaboration, because really that's what 2025 and Age of Aquarius and New Earth energy is all about. And not just throwing yourself out into anything and everything, but really being discerning and looking and feeling and going, okay, I really align with this not so much. So you're becoming more decisive in where your energy is being spent. All right. So it will look different. It will feel different. Um, yeah, and I'm being reminded there will be some grieving as well. It is a process. And really, if you're having a hard time with relationships, with family, with work, whatever it happens to be, create some distance and start building yourself up and having a protective shield around you. And I do teach this. It's grounding, it's chakra work. And it's not like, oh no, you people stay away from me. It's like, no, this is my boundary. I know what that feels like. I know what a boundary is. And I know how to speak a boundary. And I know how to shift within that space and with relationships. So I do have a video all about how to find out what your boundaries are and how to work on them, and how to speak them and write them into existence, and how to practice them with people with loving kindness and compassion, not with anger and not with, just outright rage, because that doesn't work. That only fuels fire and it repels people. Whereas you want someone to go, okay, I overstepped there, so I'm going to be aware of my energy too, and my part in this. So this is about responsibility and accountability. Yes. So those are going to be the new ways forward. And yeah, and I'm going to bring in 5 here, like the year of sound. I just talked about that at the beginning. This is the year of sound. So more sound baths, more sound healing, bringing back real instruments, real music, none of this digital stuff. I mean, AI has a purpose here. However, if we want to learn from what happened in Atlantis, we need a balanced relationship with artificial intelligence, with everything. Just especially, I hear people saying, well, people are losing jobs because of AI, and this is happening with AI, and it'll never be the same. You're right, it'll never be the same. However, we need to be aware of what's going on and what we will accept and what we will not accept, right? So we cannot just turn and point fingers, because when we start pointing fingers, we need to point them all back at ourselves. I mean, it's so easy to blame um, and to dismiss and to cancel. That is a disassociation and a trauma response. So we're going to go into trauma a little bit. Yes, a lot of us are healing trauma, and I'm seeing this everywhere. And, people want transformation. We don't want any more information. And maybe you're going, yeah, that's right, Christine, we don't. Well, that's why I'm going to show up less in a lot of my social feeds and spend more time here and building a community up here, especially the soul healers community, because a lot of people are looking for authentic connections, not people that are like, oh, shiny, shiny, we're fun over here, we're this, we're that. And then you get in, you're like, no, no, you do not walk the walk and talk the talk. So be careful of shiny objects or people that appear very charismatic, and you got to watch out for the narcissistic tendencies, okay? And I feel we're very aware of that. I've taught it all of 2024. That's really what 2024 was, the rise of the collective compassion and empathy and realizing our part in the toxic culture and the toxic relationships. Yes. All right. So I want you can pause at this point after the first question, but really, I love to journal and I love to write. So I want you to reflect on this first question. What are you ready to purge and release in 2024? What are you ready to purge and release in 2024? Again, I'm purging all toxicity and I'm releasing any attachments to it. That's for me personally, and this is just off the top of my head, whatever's coming in for me. So it might be completely different for you. And number two, what are you ready to vision and invite in for 2025? What are you ready to vision and invite in for 2025? My vision since the start was a community, a spiritual healing center, a space and place where when people came in, like I did into Ridge, you could actually feel the energy of that place, that it was filled with loving intention and healing, and you could feel it. That's and it might be like a ley line or an energy portal. They're all over the world. And there are certain places in the world that have a little more than others, yes. But wherever you're standing, you are a ley line. You are an energy portal. So just be aware of that. Um, so yeah, those were the themes. The year of sound is the overall theme. Let me know how you feel about that and about the other themes as well. We're going to talk about the 2025 is a 9 year. That means it's a completion. It's a wrap up. I call it God's wrap up. I call it endings and getting ready for new beginnings. So endings and new beginnings and wrap ups and completing and completions. So everything that we have learned over the last couple years, we are now wrapping up and we're completing. And in the Chinese astrology is the year of the snake. Now, some people don't like snakes, but the actual, the snake totem, it brings in healing. I mean, if you look at I think it's the Medical Association, their symbol is a snake. The snake is also a symbol, like I said, healing, shedding, transformation. It is also Kundalini. So I feel a lot more people are aware of their energy, their energetic selves, their chakras, their vibrations, and therefore that's why this is the year of sound. Because like rubbing our hands together, I mean, this is part of the building that golden ball, same idea. You pull your fingers apart, you can actually feel in between the energy, right? This is sound, this is energy, this is healing, which I also teach. So if you'd like to become a Reiki master or learn more about hands-on healing, I'd be happy to help you with that. So this is the year of the wood snake in Chinese astrology. And I love celebrating the year. It's a lot of fun. It's a very witty and sociable sign. It loves beauty and art. Um, so you can go and look a little further into that as well. I also would like, it's based on your year, and there are a lot of, I believe his name is Joey Yap, YAP on YouTube, that does all of the Chinese astrology forecasts. So you can go follow him. He knows all about that. Me, I like to dabble a little bit, but I'm certainly not an expert. So to wrap this up, I'm going to pull from my own deck, the Empath Journey. It is available in a digital and a physical deck. I'd be so happy if you support my deck and the artist as well, Connor Lawrence, who happens to be my youngest son. He is a fabulous artist. He does digital work as well. And we're pulling an overall card for the year, which I feel would be easier to follow instead of having multiple cards. Um, and maybe I'll do a separate video just on card pull, like the Celtic Cross, if you're interested in that, or past, future, present pull for the year. Let me know if you're interested in that. I will do a special video, but I will make it for members only. So yeah, maybe that's what we're going to be learning in January as well with the Dream Vision Map Workshop, which you can click below to sign up for that. Um, but to learn how to read, or what is the difference between an oracle card and a tarot card? There are differences. And some of us are not aware, and to learn is everything. Wow. Okay. Interesting. This was the card for the other day, that, or at the end of our 12 days of Christmas. You can go back and watch that. But this is 26. It breaks down to an 8. This is Phoenix energy. So this is the overall energy for 2025: rebirth, rise, reborn. We all know the phoenix. I mean, you have to light things on fire, burn them away in order to start new. I mean, that's um, how forests come back. So this will be major initiation and transformation. Are you facing challenging moments? Are you grieving and wanting to heal old emotional wounds? Endure yourself in trying times while giving yourself time for healing. This phoenix adds fire to your soul, nourishes your spirit, development, purging, new path, and guidance. So just take that in, everybody. Take that in. I, I'm going to be posting this later on my socials, that this was the card for 2025 and why I believe this is how we are all going to rise together and heal together and ascend together. Amazing. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to book a 20-minute soul connection call, I have the link below. I have a link to all my events, all my workshops. If you want to work in a group mentorship, it's called the Soul Healers Method. It's a 12-week transformative experience with inner child work, trauma healing, trauma bonds, intuition development, chakras. You get to learn, each week together in a group as well. I have a 1-year transformation. If you're looking to make a complete life change, life shift, go into business for yourself, I have all of that experience, and together we will curate your life plan for 2025 and beyond. Well, thank you so much for being here. And thank you for joining us from all over the world. I see you, Africa. I see you, Japan. Oh my goodness. Wow. And I also see, someone in Florida as well. So we have people from around the world, and I'm sending you all so much love. for 2025 and beyond. Take care of yourself. And until next time.